No, I'm a big fan of the Hyundai Santa Cruz, and this is going to be a complete in-depth look at the 2022 Santa Cruz trend. Now, we happen to be based in Canada, so this is the Canadian model. So if you're Canadian, you're gonna be excited. If you're American, stay tuned because we get a couple things you guys don't get. We also in Canada get to celebrate the fact that ours is cheaper than yours, so maybe better equipped than the American model, and less expensive. We're going to show you what all that means. And the big thing I'm going to show you today is, because I'm interested in this vehicle, I've been looking about everything that you guys have been looking at, all these videos on this vehicle. I'm going to show you a number of things that aren't in other reviews. That's my goal today. That's what's going on. And if you've never been with us before, what we do is we spend about a half an hour going really in depth with these vehicles. We do this every single day. So if you're interested in this vehicle, you're going to learn something today, but you may want to grab a beverage, grab a snack. And just so you know, if you're not live with us, you can skip ahead to the 3-minute mark. At the 3-minute mark, that's where we start with the content. If you are live with us, stick with us for a second. We're going to show you how to join us live, and we'll also show you, we'll talk about a couple other little things before we get to that 3-minute mark. All right, this is the, I forgot the name of the color, the sand type color. Oh boy, forgot the name of it, but it looks kind of cool. It definitely makes it stand out in a parking lot. It's actually not clean right now, and there's all sorts of sand and dust on it, so you can kind of see how it stays clean looking. So that's always what some people matter. All right, let's jump down here. Here we go. If you want to join our YouTube channel and you want to join us live, we'll refresh the page exactly at 2 o'clock. Our homepage is taken over by our live video right there. You're going to click into that. You're going to have to watch an ad. Now, before you watch that ad, let me just run a quick ad for ourselves. 3 dealers support this channel. I'm skipping the regular ad. 3 dealers support this channel: Brantford Kia, Brantford Hyundai, Owen Sound Hyundai. Support them. If you're in Ontario, you're looking to buy a car, connect with me after this video. I'll have a link in the description. When it's done, you can connect with me. We can hook you up and get you set up, and we can be your local dealer anywhere in Ontario. So there is that. All right, let's go on here. Like I said, there's a number of things I want to point out in this video that you haven't seen before, so I promise you there'll be some of that. Do me a favor, some of you regulars that are on here right now, I got about 25 of you on, hit that like button. Let's see if we can get a whole bunch of people to join us. If you all hit the like button together at the beginning, that brings a whole bunch of people in, and it's kind of fun. So we'll do that. What else do we do? Kia K3. Kia Canada still calling it the Kia Forte for 2022. We did a video this morning telling you about the specs on that vehicle. It's not called the K3 yet. I think it will be called the K3, but they're still referring to it as a 2022 Kia Forte. It is getting a redesign, so we'll talk about all that. The video's already up there. You can join that, watch that later if you want. We've got a lot of content coming up in the next couple months. I'm working on some stuff that I can't tell you about yet. Stay tuned to this channel. Feel free to hit subscribe, and we'll do a lot more. All right, we're at the 3-minute mark. 3 minutes in. Here we go with the content. Do me a favor if you're just joining us for the very first time, hit the like button. Maybe you want to earn it, and I'm cool with that. But if you're okay with just hitting the like button because you like the vehicle, you want to see more videos of it like this, then do me a favor, hit that right now, and we'll keep going. All right, so this is the trend package in Canada. Now, like I said, Canada and the States are different. We actually have a little bit more equipment, and I'll talk about that on our vehicles. Even the top line trim, we have stuff the Americans can't get on theirs. So if you're an American, you may want to stick around and figure out what you're not getting. We also have better pricing. When you do the exchange rate here, they start at $38,499 Canadian. This one is $41,399, and they go to $44,799. When you start doing the exchange rate, you realize that we actually have better pricing here in Canada than you do in the States. And when you buy from our dealer group, we're not charging that $5,000 or even $10,000 over MSRP. Doesn't happen with our dealer group. So when you start looking at what they do, $10,000 over MSRP in the US, I'm not a big fan of that. But we don't do that here. So at our dealer groups, Brantford Hyundai, Owen Sound Hyundai, we won't do that for you. All right, let's take a look at this vehicle. Very first thing, kind of a silly thing I want to do. If you look at this vehicle in a whole bunch of pictures, the bed kind of looks like it's tilted down there. I don't know if it does to you guys right now, but there's an optical illusion that looks like it's kind of tilted down. So one of the things somebody asked me is that bed level right there? I just want to show you that I used my iPhone level earlier. It is perfectly level. If you've ever used your iPhone level, it goes black and reads a minus or plus to the number. This is me just minutes ago leveling it out. It is level on the back here. So it's an optical illusion that it doesn't look level on some angles. And that just gives you a little bit of a sense of those bed rails there are level. Let's talk about a few other things. First of all, let's show you the key. There's what the key looks like. You can see that hold button to pop the tailgate. That is the only real difference between this and a regular Hyundai key. You got the remote start here on the Trend package as well. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about what's different in this package than the previous car we saw. About a week and a half ago, we had a pre-production Ultimate package. The top of the line here is called Ultimate here in Canada. And we went through that one. That was pre-production. This one is production. It's available to buy today. But there's your key. Let's throw it in our pocket. Actually, you know what? Let's just pop the tailgate for 1 second, which is pretty cool to do. Hold that button there. And it just pops down nice and easy. It is an easy open, easy close type thing. Those of you wanting to know, I do have my tape measure with me today, so we can take some measurements if you're looking for that. One thing I want to point out here, though, if you've seen this before, you can see that, of course, that roll-up cover goes back. A lot of you are wondering about when you stick a 4x8 sheet of plywood on the wheel wells there and come out to the tailgate. Those of you that don't know, if you haven't seen these videos, the tailgate can be rested at about this angle. Let's call it that angle. And that will level it out from there over to here. Now, just because it can do it doesn't mean it's easy to do it, doesn't mean we will do it. So what I did is I tried to do that. You very simply disconnect this, pull that back, push it forward, and put it up here. Now, I had to use two hands, one to hold the tailgate up and one to disconnect it, but it goes click. Once you hold the tailgate up, click it out of there, click it into there. The tailgate sits up on this angle. It is one of the easiest things to do in the world. I am not super handy or super strong, but it's super simple to do. So if you're carrying something in there that you want to have level or you want to have that little bit of a tilt to it, it is super simple to adjust that. It's something worth knowing. Now, if you haven't seen the bed in here, every media person that has done this has followed the Kia, or actually the Hyundai, media guide and said, hey, you can use this as a cooler. Now, I'm going to argue that anybody who buys this car already does some adventuring. They know what a good cooler is. And this is not a good cooler. Why? Because it's not insulated. So while it can hold water, it can hold ice, and it can hold your drinks, and it does have a drain plug in there. While it can do those things, you're probably not going to use it for that unless you just put drinks in it. If you need to keep food safe, you're going to throw it in a regular cooler. The big thing I want you to know about this truck, or this trunk, excuse me, is that most pickup trucks, of course, don't have a trunk. So when I go grocery shopping with my kids in my pickup truck, I can't put the groceries anywhere except for with them. Where this one, having the tonneau cover from the factory, I can slide it in here, or I can slide it in here, and this is as weatherproof as the trunk in your car or SUV. So while it's not massive, it's certainly good enough to take all those weatherproof things, laptops, computers, backpacks, all kinds of stuff, and keep them in a weatherproof container, because up top, while it is mostly rainproof and everything else, you can see the rubber seal in a second here. We'll show you that. It is not going to be 100% weatherproof in something like a car wash or a high pressure wash. And you know, that's obvious. Basically, this is the rubber seal at the end. It's just a simple little seal. And of course, that's not the most weather tight little seal here at the tailgate. But it works, you know, very well to keep most of the rain out, the snow out, that kind of thing. It's still a pickup truck bed in here. So over here, is the tailgate dampened? You bet it is. I don't know if you saw earlier. Let's just show you again when I open it with the key fob here. So holding the key fob right there. I'll get it out of the shot so you can see it clearly. Holding it right now, and there it goes. See how nice and slow it falls? So it's fairly lightweight to lift, fairly easy. Somebody of you have asked what these are for. Basically just bottle holders, cup holders, spaces to put it where it's nice and level, and you've got that. So the other thing I want to address is everybody who talks about this pickup bed seems to like to say it's a very small pickup bed. So let's deal with that directly. First of all, when trucks started going crew cab, you used to have 8-foot beds in all pickup trucks, and then they started going crew cab, and now you have 5.5-foot or 6.5-foot beds in a full-size pickup truck. And you know what happened? All the purists said, oh, the beds are so small, and everybody bought those trucks. Trucks sell more now than they ever have, and nobody has an issue with a 6.5-foot bed on a full-size truck. This is just over 4 feet long, 4'3" right to the edge. From that wall there to the edge of here is 4'3". From this edge here, that click right there, to this edge here is 4 feet as well. So you have 4'3" by 4 feet, and you know what? It's plenty. It's plenty good, because what everybody who says it's small is forgetting for a second that if you put like a Tucson and hopped in the back of a Tucson or a Santa Fe or something like that, they've got a lot smaller storage space than you would have here. And I genuinely believe this is going to sell the crossover buyer. Some pickup truck buyers will buy this. Like me, I have a pickup truck. I'm very likely going to buy this. But what you will find is a lot of crossover people will buy this car because it handles and drives and has all the nice features of a crossover, but it also has a bed. And when we talk about, can the underfloor storage be locked? If so, can you show me? Yes, it can be locked, and here's how you lock it. You hit the lock button. That open switch there can't be opened. So if we lock the car right now, there we go. I can't. You know what? I think it's because the proximity key is near. But if you have the tailgate up, for sure it's locked. Let me just see if that's again. Let's try that. Let's lock it there. It is locked. I'm going to leave the key over here with my teddy bear. And let's find out if it can be locked. Tailgate closed, it can definitely be locked because you can't get to it. Tailgate open, yes. So it is now locked. So even if you have the tailgate open, as long as your proximity key isn't right by there, which is just like your SUV, this cannot be opened. So that's a great question there. It was something I wanted to show you. For a second there, I thought I made a mistake, but it is correct. So once I have the key fob back nearby, if I had this in my pocket or for something like that, I just have it close by. Then, of course, this can be opened again because it is a proximity key, which means it senses that the key is nearby, for instance, in your pocket, and then it can be opened. Once I shut this again and walk away, it will be fully locked. When I shut the tailgate, tailgate's locked as well. And now you can't get into anything, obviously, if you lock the cover. Let's show you how to lock that cover while we're here. So this one, of course, has the little clip here. It's kind of a weird looking thing. Is it goofy? I don't know. It's incredibly practical. It works very well. You can, of course, disconnect it quickly there. And so you're pulling this out here. Now, I would usually use two hands. You pull this there, lock it in place. It can be locked halfway. Now, how do you lock this? Let's just show you that. This, first of all, is glow in the dark. If your kids are stuck in the thing because they're playing around in your tailgate, they can get themselves out by spinning that. If you spin this like this, it is now, can you read the words? Yeah, there you go, not the words, but can you read that? It is locked. Now, when that is locked, all it does is disable this handle. So that handle can't do anything. When you shut the tailgate here, lock the vehicle, nobody can get in there. I mean, anybody could get in there, but you'd break stuff, so we don't want to do that. But yeah, the point is, it is as locked as a regular car. Pop that down, flip this back like that, and of course, you can open the tailgate there and let it go all the way back. And so that's super simple there. Like I said, we'll take some measurements if you want. The other thing I want to point out, you guys have all seen, these are little storage areas here. Lots of storage in there, tie downs, other stuff, whatever you want. There is a little bit of a weather seal in there. I don't know if they're weatherproof, but you can see it'll keep some moisture out of there. There is, like I said, a rubber weather seal right in here. And of course, that one has a plug there. I believe it's 115 volt outlet. Yes, that's what it said, 115 volts, 150 watt max. So not a high power thing, but it can do a lot of your basics, charge computers, do all kinds of little stuff. Yeah, so you got a plug in there, you can secure it. And you do have bed lighting in here, which when the tailgate trunk is open, first of all, let's keep it shut. If we had the cover shut, that tailgate light will light this area up. As soon as you open the trunk, the lights come on. And then because of the angle, it'll shine in here, which gives you light in that trunk down there. And they do something really smart. The light over here is a white LED light below the brake light. Every other pickup truck I've seen takes some of the brake light away, has a big white section here, big white section on the other side, brake light in the middle. This is just a better setup. So you've got the full LED light, red light up top for braking. And of course, that is your tailgate light. We'll shut this and it turns off. You can also turn it on from a switch on the inside, which we're about to show you in just a minute. All right. Let's go take a look at the technology. Those of you that are on right now, there's like 61 of you on right now. Do you think we could hit 60 likes today? It's up to you guys. Do me a favor, see if we can hit 60 likes. Let's keep jumping inside right now. Okay, we're gonna show you more things you haven't seen before. There is a little light on the back of this door handle, even on this model right here, which just gives you a little bit of light in there. You can see it on my finger there. Kind of a cool thing. It lights up when you approach it with the key fob in your hand. I'm now putting the key fob in my pocket. This is a vehicle that's going to get dirty and muddy. So when you open the doors, this vehicle is going to protect your pants. Unlock all the doors. Actually, we'll make sure all the doors are unlocked just for myself. When you come in this door, you can see that the door wraps all the way around this body line. Instead of having the door end here, which is what they could have done, when you're getting out of a little bit taller vehicle, maybe a little bit wider vehicle, your pants can oftentimes rub against the outside of the vehicle. This one, if it rubs against the outside, you're not gonna have dirt on a salty, sandy, dirty day on your pant legs because both front and rear doors wrap around. There is a rubber seal down here at the bottom and that's going to keep some of that dirt out. So I don't know if you can see that, the little rubber seal, kind of a cool feature. Powered seats in this mid-level model, again, the Canadian mid-level model, there is no front-wheel drive model in Canada. There is no non-turbo engine in Canada. All of the models in Canada have all-wheel drive. All of them tow 5,000 pounds. All of them have the turbo engine. What trim is that? This is the mid-level trim in Canada. It's called the Trend. You also have these 18-inch wheels. So the last one we showed you had 20-inch wheels. The diameter of the tire, the outside of the tire, the tread, is identical in the 20-inch model or 20-inch wheels on the Ultimate trim and these 18-inch wheels. So what that means is you have 2-inch smaller metal wheels, aluminum wheels or alloy wheels, but you have 2-inch more sidewalls. So basically what you have is an inch more sidewall in this measurement right here, and of course an inch on the other side as well. So 2-inch smaller rim means extra sidewall here, and you have a pretty meaty sidewall. So if you're doing a little more off-road, that's pretty cool. The other thing is that suspension back there. You'll notice it's not leaf spring suspension. Leaf spring suspension, to me, it's funny. If you look at horse and buggies, that's what they had. So to still see that in 2022 model year vehicles is kind of weird. This suspension is like a regular car suspension, but it has a big difference. When you load this up or hitch a trailer up, the car is going to squat. When you ride around the block, or the truck is going to squat, whatever you want to call it, when you go around the block, that suspension, the oil will move around and it will level itself out, preserving your ride. It's not an air suspension, which is prone to failure. It's just a simple design where it can take the load of the vehicle. Now, because this is a production vehicle, let's see carrying capacity of this vehicle. This is the sticker I'm looking for. See this number here, 14, where am I? 14 and 11, 1,411 pounds. The carrying capacity of this vehicle, the marketing material has been all over the map. They've said things and maybe taken half stuff back. 1,411 pounds is what this exact vehicle can carry. Now, just so we're clear, I have a Chevrolet Colorado. It's a mid-sized truck. It's a top trim truck. It's a Z71 model. It's got off-road, heavy-duty suspension, that kind of stuff. Z71 model, crew cab, long box, is supposed to be able to have a 1,498 pound, in other words, just around 1,500 pound carrying capacity. My actual truck, 1,317 pounds. 1,317 pounds in a crew cab, long box, mid-sized truck. This compact, built on a Tucson platform, has 1,411 pounds of carrying capacity. What I'm getting at is that's almost 100 pounds more than my leaf spring truck carrying capacity. So what we're saying is, everybody who's saying this is built on a Tucson platform, no. When the concept came out for this vehicle, they didn't build it. Why? Because they didn't have a platform. The platform has been built to accommodate this vehicle. But now in the modern automotive world, you have to build the same platform to go for multiple vehicles. The Tucson's got this modified version of this platform. The new Sportage will have a modified version of this platform. But this platform was built to carry weight, built to do what it does. And here you go. Now you've got a carrying capacity that is more than my own supposedly 1,498 pound capacity, which is actually 1,317 pound carrying capacity, payload capacity. This car's got more. Let's jump in. All right, we're gonna go a few minutes longer today probably, but that's okay. Let's show you some other things that you maybe haven't seen before. All right, take on the dash here. You can see right away you've got that cool digital dash. Now, this is the all-wheel drive function right here. That is a bar graph that shows you exactly how your all-wheel drive is. So, here's somebody says they feel like it should have been rear-wheel drive. Bailey Brownie, that's your screen name, I assume. Let's talk about why it doesn't matter that it's not all-wheel drive, or that it's not a rear-wheel drive bias platform, because exactly what I was showing you here. When this car starts out, it's always going to start in all-wheel drive. What's going on when you look at this model is as it doesn't need weight, or as it doesn't need all-wheel drive. In other words, if it senses no slippage, the power will move forward. Now, if it needs to leave power in the rear wheels, it will. So this is not a front wheel drives that have to slip before it sends power to the rear wheels. It's always starting in all-wheel drive. So you have that all-wheel drive platform that's always in all-wheel drive, and as it senses, hey, we're on like a normal road, there's not a whole lot of weight here, there's not a lot going on, I'm gonna move that power forward for efficiency reasons, just to the one axle driving. Now it's always at least 95% in the front and 5% in the rear, so it can always move that power as it needs to, and it moves it very, very quickly. But keep in mind, It doesn't have to be rear wheel drive if you think like a truck person. Really what you care about is the power is on the rear wheels when you need it. And it always starts out putting the power on all four wheels when you need it and then comes back. It's a much better system than almost every truck out there. And yes, it will move to a front wheel drive, and that doesn't matter because if it needs the power back there, it'll leave the power back there. Now, the other thing I want to show you here is there's some gauges here that are adjustable. Of course, this trim model has the digital gauge. Move one down, it won't have the digital gauges. Let's jump over to the settings over here, and let's go to the cluster and take a look. Coming down to the theme selection, you can go to the theme selection. Right now it's linked to the drive mode, but we can show you. You could go cube, which is what that is. It's down here at the bottom, which is a totally unique thing. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't, but it's cool it does it. Classic C is not linked. This one is not found in any of the drive modes. B is your sport mode. If you went to sport mode, it would look like this. Classic A is the standard mode like this. And of course, if you link it to drive modes, it'll switch between this and that carbon fiber sport mode, but you can choose the one you want. If you want to just leave it in one, you can do that. Let's go over to ambient lighting here. As we go down to lights and we look at the ambient lighting, in the limited model we looked at, there's 64 colors of ambient lighting. You can set the brightness here to level 4s, which we have it at, ambient light color. In this one, there are lots of colors. There's 10 colors. So instead of 64, there's 10. Ice blue, ocean blue, jade green, orchid green, freesia yellow, sunrise red, aurora purple, lightning violet. I left it on the purple just because it's a little easier to see on camera. Whoa. Let's just zoom out here. You can see that in that center section, you've got some purple lighting there, and hopefully you can see over there some purple lighting in there. It shows up pretty well on camera. It'll look a little better in person, but kind of a cool, you can just sort of choose your ambient color. Even on this model with less features, you have that 10 different colors of ambient lighting. So lots of cool things in there. The last thing I want to show you in the dash that's just kind of a cool thing for us Canadians is some of us like to visit the United States, and when we do, we want to switch over the gauge cluster to, where am I? 2 miles per hour. Now you can see there's the speed unit. Of course, we're going to click into that. See this speedometer on the left? It's currently in kilometers per hour, and it says kilometers down here, kilometers per hour. Now we're going to switch it to miles per hour, and you can see it says miles per hour, but you still have a digital readout in the center showing you kilometers per hour. If you are a Canadian driving in the States, that is a super helpful feature because while we all know 60 is around 100, every now and then 40, 30, okay, so 50 is 80, right? So you don't have to do that calculation. How fast am I really going? It's just kind of a cool system where they know how Canadians and Americans kind of think. So you've got your digital gauge cluster there, and we're going to go back to kilometers per hour. And of course, if you want to have your speed limit or speed setting in here, you can just go over to this setting here, and there's your speed in there as well. A lot of people like to put this on different types of things. You can put it over on your all-wheel drive. You can look at your tire pressure monitors. This is your lane keep, lane follow, and let's talk about that for a quick second. Lane keeping assist sees the lane markers in front of you, can keep the car centered in the lane a little bit. Lane follow assist is a much more precise version, and it's on this car. It's a steering wheel activated button right there. You also have the smart cruise control on this car. So this trend, or this trend level, excuse me, the trend is the name of the model. You have the digital dash, you have lane keep and lane follow, you have the smart cruise control. You don't have the 10.25 inch screen, but you do gain volume knobs here, which you wouldn't have on the larger one. You do gain, this 8-inch screen works well, but you also gain wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The larger screen does not have the wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You still have satellite radio. You still have a Bose audio system. You can see it says Bose down there. So you get a lot. And then the other thing you still have is the dark interior lighting. You have the white LED lighting up top. You do have a sunroof as well. So for a lot of people, this is going to be that value model that gives you everything you want. There are things missing in this, and like I said, we'll go in depth further on the ultimate trim package later. You can also go down to a step down, a trim down from this as well, and go from there. But you still have, for instance, also automatic climate control, and that works really well. It's a dual zone system, so you can set driver and passenger side different. You've got the diffuse function, which is pretty cool, because right now it's blowing through the vents over there and the vents over here. You can maybe hear it on the camera. And then it also has vents over there, and it's blowing pretty hard at me. So you can do a few different things. You can take your auto and you can turn it down a little bit. Now it's still going to automatically go to 20 degrees, 20.5 degrees for both driver and passenger, but it's just not going to blow as hard or as loud. You can listen to music a little better. And then if you want, what you can do is hit the diffuse button here, which is even cooler. The diffuse button takes all the air that was coming out of these vents and diffuses it across the entire front of the vehicle here. not only on the passenger side, but right through, even on the driver's side right here, and you've diffused that air. So instead of having that blast of air from the vents, you kind of have the air blowing gently from everywhere. It's a super cool function. It works really well. I like it. All right, let's jump out. We're gonna take your questions now. We're a little later on the questions things. Do me a favor, guys, there's 75 of you on. Hit the like button right now. We're gonna jump, take your questions, and then I've got more to show you. We're also gonna talk about lighting on this vehicle. It is different on this vehicle than most of the other videos out there. So let's take a look at that as we jump out right now. I didn't mention blind spot detection. I didn't talk about a lot of the safety. We'll probably touch on that as well. All right, so coming over here, if you want to see measurements, we can do that a little bit today as well. We'll go a little long with this one just because it is still a fairly new vehicle for us, and I want to continue to show you things that maybe other people aren't showing you. Let me just see if I'm zoomed out enough. Oh, I guess I am. All right. All right, 46 likes. Again, let's see. Can we get to 70, you think? Wow, we were going for 60. Let's see if we get to 7. There's 75 people on. Let's see if we can go for 75 likes. All right, keep going on here. Why didn't you mention the bed trunk was stolen from the Honda Ridgeline? Okay. The trunk was stolen from the Honda Ridgeline. Does that make you feel better? It's a brilliant idea. Yeah, the Ridgeline also has a trunk down there. Ridgeline's a little bigger and deeper. The Ridgeline puts a spare tire in there. This one has a spare tire in a more logical spot underneath the vehicle. But yeah, it's a great idea, and why not use it? It's a great idea. T-slots in the tonneau cover. Yes, the tonneau cover does stop halfway down. I'm not sure what your question was, but you said T-slots in the tonneau cover. Let's keep going here. Wanted leather with 18-inch wheels. Those wheels look so much better than the 20s that come on the leather in the US. Now, the wheels, to me, don't film well, but they look sharp in person. Anytime they have a dark rim, it doesn't film well. I thought these were kind of round when I saw them on the other side, but you can see they are just cool. I like them quite a bit. They look very tough, and I think that goes well with this truck, even though this isn't, you know, you're not out there with a super duty truck trying to prove your toughness, but I think it's, you know, it doesn't look like a wimpy little crossover. It's not. This car was built from the ground up to be what it is. All right. You guys are talking about some winter tires. We'll talk about that. They don't make that trim in the US. Oh, the Americans. I want to just show you really quickly the drive and terrain modes, because in the States, you guys have a different drive mode system than we do here, and I'm sorry, ours is better. So let's jump in that, just quickly show you that for a second, and we'll come over here. All right, so you guys have a four-wheel drive lock button, which is what we used to do here in Canada. It's kind of the older way of doing things now. So we have drive modes, we cycle through them. If we go through here, you have 3 drive modes right here. I know in the States you'll say, oh, we have 4, we have a snow mode. So let's talk about that. You have normal here, sport, and the smart drive mode. You guys are saying, what about the snow drive mode? Well, there's a terrain and a drive button that I'm just hitting here. When I hit the terrain and the drive button, I now have snow, mud, and sand. So we have terrain modes that you guys don't have. Instead of having your four-wheel drive lock button here, I switch it from drive mode to terrain mode. I cycle down through them, and I have the snow, mud, and sand mode. Now, a lot of people ask me, do I need to be in that snow mode as soon as I hit snow? You don't. You don't have to at all. It'll give you the all-wheel drive whenever you need it. The snow mode optimizes things like your all-wheel drive system, your vehicle stability control, your traction control, everything, all the computers, and it monitors things hundreds of times a second. I think there's like 100 things it monitors or something like that. There's a lot of things that it monitors, and it can adapt it super, super, super quickly. So it can adapt things to mud, snow, and sand just the way you want. So we have that better system, and we have better pricing than you guys. When you do the math on that exchange rate, we have a good system here with good pricing. So he says, guess I'm moving to Canada. I mean, if that's not a reason why, there's lots of other reasons why. It's a great place to be, Canada. You get better Hyundai and Kia vehicles. All right, let's keep going through here. If there's any questions, I'm going to try to get to as many as I can. I'm going to test drive this evening up here in Ottawa. Can't wait. Sounds cool. Hey, if you want to buy from us, you can. Sure, come join us with your advanced vehicles. With our advanced vehicles. All right, what else have we got here? It will be a little claustrophobic for the kids sitting in the back. Let's talk about that. Somebody says because of the curve in the back, it's a little claustrophobic for the kids. So let's just jump in there right now. Now, I want to point something out. I drive a mid-sized truck. This is supposedly a compact truck. This one has 1 inch more legroom than knee room between where I sit in the driver's seat and where my knees sit back here. Is it compact back here? Yes. If you have a 6'4" passenger, their headroom is not going to be an issue. They will fit back here. I had a co-worker of mine, I think he's 6'3", sit back here. He fits. He's not going to be comfortable for a long time. When you buy a compact truck, you're going to make a compact decision. The Tucson has much more rear legroom. However, I'm 6 feet tall. I'm going to show you a 6-footer sitting behind a 6-footer. And to be fair, last time I looked at this truck, I kind of had the seat where I could drive with it comfortable. This time I put it further back than before. So I'm definitely comfortable like this in the front seat. Let's see how it goes when I jump inside here. Let's flip it back to me. Can I get in? You bet I can. Is the headroom good? Like I mentioned, you can be really tall here. It's got that sunroof that slides in here, and then it gets really tall here. So I've got a ton of headroom there, and the back angle is good. Sometimes the back angle is tight. Now, big question is, where do my knees sit? On my car, I can only fit my hand between this and the seat. Here, I could fit 2 hands in there easily, or more than that. So again, is it a lot? No, it's not. Is it enough? For a lot of people, it's going to be enough. I'm gonna probably buy this, and if I had to sit back here for several hours, I could. The other thing that I wanna point out in the back here that is kind of a sort of a lost art is the way to create leg space is to create a lot of shoe space. When I sit here and relax and put my legs to the side, to the straight, wherever I wanna put them, having the foot space there to put all my feet, even work boots underneath that large space there, there's a ton of space with the seat off the ground. It gives the illusion of more leg space. So you can put your legs there, but you can also splay out. That's the way I normally fit. Again, lots of leg room if you need it. Is it big? It's not. Now, somebody said the rear seat, the windows do go up. The windows do come up here. However, this is probably similar to a regular vehicle. This is directly beside me. So my line of sight is more forward. Is this high? Yes, it is. If you have a little short kid without a booster seat, then your head's not going to be lined up where it should be anyways. The kid on the booster seat will probably be able to see out. They won't be able to see down as much. A full-size adult, even stretching up, you know, is it claustrophobic? I don't think it's claustrophobic, but it's certainly a little more cozy in here with this line up. Can a 6-footer fit behind a 6-footer? You bet they can. No problems at all. All right, we're going to show you lighting, and then we're going to show you, we're going to go to your questions one more time. So one little thing in the lighting I want to show you. We did show you that bed lighting earlier. You can turn that on or off from the cabin there. So if you're loading stuff at night, very simple to do. Very logical location as well. That's right where you need it because you're going to open the door, you're going to tap that light, and you're going to go back out. The other thing I want to point out, and it seems like a silly thing, if you haven't had a truck before, these little side steps are golden because stepping up into this bed, even though this is lower than, for instance, my truck, it's a big step up. You can't just do that. That is kind of a halfway point. When you have a bed down on the Ford vehicles, they have a bed step that you pay several hundred extra for. It comes down here. GM used to always include these steps, but now they have the folding tailgates as well. These steps are brilliant to step into the bed because you put one foot here, and you can see it again, right? Like it's a full step down. So step from the ground to there, step from there to there. So I'm gonna put my left foot in here like that. I'm gonna put my right foot up here, and it's super simple to stand up here and no problem. The tailgate can hold tons of weight. I'm bouncing on it, no problem. And same thing with getting out. You put your foot down there, put your foot down here, and it is a very logical step from there to there. So you don't need a fancy tailgate that folds apart like that. And of course, you're never gonna do that when your hands are full. Get in, and up you go. Really smart there. Let's take a look at the lighting here. What I'm gonna do, LED lighting here, some people say it looks like an arrow. What we're gonna do is turn on all the headlights, and we're gonna turn on the signal lights because signal lights are different on this model than they are on the other one, and so are the headlights. So over there, signal lights, headlights are on. All right. First of all, high beams, they're automatic high beams. They go up or lower. You can see signal lights in the doors there. They show up better in person than on camera. You're used to seeing LED lighting down here with what some people call the arrow-looking signal lights. This one does not have LED front signal lights or LED front headlights. Headlights are nice and bright though, as you can see coming down there, and you have a traditional light underneath there. Let's take a look at how it works. You can see a nice sharp cutoff right over here. That's what you want to see on these halogen lights. Really nice, precise cutoff, which is good. And of course, you guys have all seen the signature grille. No part of this car, no body panel is shared with the Tucson. The Tucson actually has 4 lights up and down. This one only has 3, 1, 2, 3. It's a completely different grille than the Tucson. To me, it looks a little more aggressive. And we still have the dark chrome tint on this trim level, where in some levels on the States, you won't have that dark chrome tint, which means that when these lights are off, this blends right into that dark chrome. It looks pretty cool. These lights are not very bright right now. When the headlights turn off, these actually brighten up into a little bit whiter look. They don't film well on camera at all. Sometimes you'll see them flickering on camera. Of course, they don't do that in real life. So you've got signal lights there, signal lights there. Coming back here, These are your signal and brake lights. What's blinking right there is signal and brake. This is just your sort of regular running lights. So there we go. 34 and a half minutes in, I'm taking your questions. We got to 63 likes. Let's see if we can go for 70, 75 likes. Well, there's 80 plus people on right now. We'll keep going. Why in this is the States one so under-featured? Seems odd. So I think what the States did is they tried to compete with the Ford Maverick a little bit closer. The mid-level Mavericks are going to start competing with that. I think to be very fair in Canada, a lot of people will say this competes with the Ford Maverick. I will claim it probably doesn't. We're going to have certainly a way more comfortable interior, nice features in there. And frankly, I saw a YouTube video the other day. I can't remember the name, and forgive me for that. But they mentioned that the Maverick isn't as good looking as the Santa Cruz. When you see the Santa Cruz in person, 100% you will agree with that. The Ford Maverick, they said, looks like a Nissan Cube with a bed. And when you look at the front lighting design and the overall design, it really does. The Cube didn't do well. It was cool, but not cool enough. So this one is really unique. Everyone who sees this in person kind of likes the shape. There are going to be people that don't like the shape, and that's cool. So somebody says 4-pin or 7-pin wiring. In the States, of course, it's 4-pin and 7-pin. I'm still trying to find out the spec for the 7-pin. Obviously, if I buy one of these, I need a 7-pin wiring, so I'm going to order one. I'm not sure if that's factory or aftermarket. I feel like if the States get it factory, we should be able to get it factory, but I'm just trying to search that down right now. Of course, they're brand new to Canada. They just came out days ago here in Canada. They've been out in the States for a little bit longer, so we'll have some of that information coming up. All right, come back to your questions here. He made another video and he fits behind himself quite comfortably. Yes, I do fit behind myself in the rear seats there. Okay. Does the trailer hitch have 4-pin or 7-pin wiring? We talked about that because Hyundai is prejudiced against Americans. No, they're not. What's the difference between lane keeping assist and highway drive assist? Really, lane keeping assist looks for the lane markers and can bounce you around in them. Lane follow assist follows the lane. Highway drive assist is a system that uses navigation-based information and other systems to also help drive semi-autonomously. And I really don't like using that word, but because Tesla does their self-drive thing, it's kind of like that, but Tesla self-drive isn't that. So I have trouble describing it. That's why they give it a weird name like highway drive assist, but it very much does assist you in driving, assist you in steering, assist you in gas and brake, on that kind of thing. Can you haul a 4x8 piece of plywood? Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Let's just show you one last time. The 4x8 piece of plywood, I guess a lot of people do this. I'm not one to do this. If that's the only reason you're buying this truck, I think you're gonna miss out on the whole joy of this. 4x8 sheet of plywood will fit on those right there. And then I showed earlier that this can clip up here, this piece can clip up here in seconds. What that does is it raises the tailgate just like that, and you have a full support level from there to there for 4x8. So absolutely, you can take 4x8 sheet of plywood. Obviously, if you are taking, 35 of them, you need a bigger truck. But if you just need something small, easy to do. And let's talk about bikes and other stuff. We have had a bike in the back hanging over the tailgate. Let's be really honest. This is a crossover, right? So you're gonna get your hitch rack and put your bikes on your hitch. You have 2 more bikes, you're gonna put them on the roof. If you're taking kayaks on the roof, for instance, you can probably get reliably, well, I measured, you can reliably get at least 3 foot of spread just from there to there. They are much longer, probably 3.5, almost maybe even 4 feet of spread on those bars. So you can put your kayak up there. I will show a kayak on these in the future. I just didn't bring it in today. So we'll show you how that does. And of course, you can tie it on the back, you can tie it on the front. That's not so hard to do. And again, I think if you put your bikes in the back or on a hitch rack, then you've got the bed here for other things. Just because you can hang them over the tailgate with a tailgate pad, I don't know if most people are gonna do that. It's a little less convenient with that cover there. You're probably gonna use this for other things. All right, got to 69 likes. I think we should probably wrap it up here. I'm gonna just double check your questions right now. If you haven't hit the like button yet, there's about 97 of you on. By looks at features, I prefer this one over a Ford. So do I. And here's the thing that's gonna go on in the media, especially American media. Ford is cheaper. Yep, less expensive and also cheaper. Ford is a longer vehicle, so even though they say it's compact, it is fairly not compact. This is wider than a Santa Fe by a little tiny bit. It's only an inch shorter than a Palisade. So this is already a bigger vehicle. If you think about a Palisade, it's a fairly large vehicle. Ford's longer again, but you don't really gain a ton of features in there. So to me, it doesn't really compete with the Maverick. Just because it has a bed, everybody wants to say Ford Maverick. I think a lot of people looking at a RAV4 are gonna go, wow, this is more practical. I just went to a campground. I go camping all the time. This is eminently more practical than a lot of the crossovers that are there. So I think there is that going on. I think if you're looking at a crossover, this is gonna be an option for you more so than some of the other ones. What do you call this color? You know what? I forgot, so let's just look it up here. I've got some private internal documents in front of me, so I can't show you them. Okay, let's go over the colors. I can show you this. All right, this is the colors. This is not accurate. Twilight Black, Ice White, which is a solid, Sandstorm, there we go, Sandstorm is what it's called there, Hampton Gray, which we showed last week, Sage Gray, and Bluestone. Sage Gray, to me, looks very green in person, Bluestone is very blue, so the Sage Gray really looks like a green, the Hampton Gray is the gray. I mean, it depends on your eyes, I am not good with colors, and to be fair, filming colors doesn't always show up perfectly as well, so feel bad that I found your videos after I bought mine in St. Catharines Kia. Oh, well, you can buy from us next time. All right, is this a 4x4 or a 2x4? So yeah, all Canadian models are all-wheel drive, and they all have the turbo engine, 311 foot-pounds of torque, 281 horsepower. So 311 foot-pounds of torque. Again, my Colorado with 7,000 pound towing capacity has 269 foot-pounds of torque. So torque is all there. Fuel efficiency is pretty good for what it is, and a 5,000 pound towing capacity. So let's just talk about that again. Payload capacity of mid-size truck. My crew cab, all-wheel drive, Z71 Chev Colorado, it's a 2018 model, has less real-world carrying capacity than this by almost 100 pounds. This one can carry more payload capacity than that. In the actual, according to the actual door stickers on my truck and this vehicle. Payload capacity, or sorry, we talked payload capacity, towing capacity. This one tows 2,000 pounds less than my mid-size truck, but the same as the Ridgeline, more than other vehicles, more than most crossovers. It's really good there. So there we go, guys. If you're looking for a truck, this may or may not be it. I might trade my truck for this. But I will say, is there ventilated seats? Good question. That's one of the features you don't have on this model. So the other model adds some features above it. So you can get ventilated seats, but this model doesn't have ventilated, does have leather. Step down one trim line again, and you get to those cloth seats. I should show you one final thing before we go. We'll jump in here. If you look at the rear seats here, you can pop this up, and they stay up really easily. You can see that's a one-handed job, not a two-handed job by pulling that little strap there. This is a nice big storage area. If you pull that one up, you're gonna see some tire jack and other stuff. You can pull that out, put it in the trunk, or put it on the floor. This comes out. It's like 6 screws. Hyundai USA actually has a short video showing you that this can come out. To me, the great thing about that coming out is you could just lay a mat down there and take your dogs with you. They're not on your leather. They got a nice big spot. Now, if you're the kind of person that wants your dog to look out the window, they're not going to be able to see out the window. But you could create a pretty cool spot down there for your animals and that kind of thing. The Ultimate version does have extra vents back here. I didn't point out there's no vents here, but there are the 2 USB ports. You have pockets on both doors, cup holders in the door there. So lots of options. But again, this is one touch rise, one touch lower. Very simple, solidly in place. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up right there. We did a pre-production version of the Ultimate, about the same length of video on that one. This one, we showed you a lot of stuff we didn't show on that. On the Trend, we're going to continue to show you this vehicle more and more. If you have questions, fill the comment section. We are not a review channel that gets the vehicle once and that's it. There's a ton of reviews in this vehicle, but that's all they're ever going to write about it. We are someone who can pull this back in again and again and again and again. If you have questions, I really like this vehicle, so if you give me enough reason to pull it back in the video bay, I'm happy to do that for you. I want to thank everyone for watching. If I haven't earned your subscription yet and you're actually still watching now, hit the subscribe button. I did my best for you. Do that for me. It'll help me out. It'll help you out. I think you'll get the kind of content you're looking for. And again, hit the like, leave a comment. We'll chat with you all soon. Thank you, everyone, for watching. It's been a lot of fun. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're talking about the Kia Soul EV. We've got the brand new 2022 model in. It happens to be the car that I own, but it's not the same year. So we'll talk about what may have changed, what may be the same. We'll do that tomorrow. We'll see you then.